time for Media Watch. Click if you like this one. Facebook being sued over its initial public offering, its launch of shares, basically. Olivia's got more. Tell us.
Well, as you've heard, it's all over the business news today, all over the internet. A group of investors wants to launch a class action suit against Morgan Stanley. Now, that's the bank that's underwriting the Facebook IPO, but also against other banks that sold shares like Bank of America, Barclays, and Mark Zuckerberg himself and some of the Facebook board. Bloomberg had a very detailed account of the story here today. They say that the smaller investors have lost some $2.5 billion in their shares, and that's not fair, so therefore they're taking them to court. Now, you can't just sue a company if your shares aren't doing well, of course, but what's at stake here is they think there might have been foul play, that Morgan Stanley had advised some of its top clients not to buy too much Facebook stock and to go easy when they saw that the revenue forecasts for Facebook weren't actually as much as people were thinking in the week before they went public. Now, Time magazine has got a detailed analysis of what this actually means for the case. Because, of course, the phrase we were all throwing around is, does this mean insider trading? You know, could it be insider trading, which is incredibly illegal? Now, not necessarily. Okay, you can take financial advice. You can make your decision about how much stock you buy. These top investors could have made that decision themselves. But what's at stake here really is Facebook's reputation. It's not their bank account. Mark Zuckerberg could pay off this class action suit if he wanted to with his pocket money. The thing that's been really interesting on the internet today is people writing more personal accounts of how they feel cheated by the Facebook corporation, as it were. And this is really interesting because now that we've got a lot of other social networks cropping up in competition to Facebook, people could say, listen, Mark Zuckerberg, you don't look out for the little man, the small investors who are buying cheaper shares than the bigger investors. We could just take our custom elsewhere. And that means that the advertisers, of course, might take their custom elsewhere too. Now, this is going to take months and months, so we'll see how this story develops. But for now, the thing that angry investors are doing who feel they've lost out, are organising a bit of a protest in New York in the spirit of the Occupy movement.
Can they organise their protest on Facebook?
They are organising their protest on Facebook.
Excellent.
We've got Occupy Goldman Sachs 2012 starting tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. They're going to go and show up in front of Goldman Sachs and say, hey, guys, you know, where's our money and why did it go like this? Why did the share price drop so much? It's also been organised on Twitter as well, but yet again, social media comes to the rescue when people want to hit out against a big corporation.
Well, we'll see if it comes to the rescue if they get any cash back. But obviously, you say it's difficult to prove this one, isn't it? Because clearly, you know, that you invest and you know it can go up or go down. It's one of the problems when you play the stock market. That can happen.
Absolutely.
But it's very nasty when you hear there may have been sort of certain clients advised not to invest and others were just allowed to invest and lose, as it were. Should we move on to your Romanian journalist who perhaps bent the rules?
Okay, this is a cautionary tale for all of us, Mark. In journalism, you cannot fake a story, even if you want to. A Romanian journalist was found out for faking a news story, supposedly. Now, this was actually reported in Austria, although it happened in Romania.
Right.
A journalist was sent to report on a bit of extreme weather, a sandstorm, in fact, on the Black Sea coast, except that he arrived there too late. He got there after the sandstorm had passed, but decided that was no problem. He'd cover it anyway.
Okay.
So he showed up with his cameraman and with his crew, and we see him on the Romanian channel here. I've got, it's called Realtatea. Yeah. He gives a little piece to camera where you see sound blowing in front of him, and he's saying, it's going at 60 kilometres an hour, it's so strong I can hardly stand up. And if you take a look at the video here, it does look pretty strong, except for maybe he's got a very bad cameraman, or maybe he's trying to play a joke on him, but when he pans to the right, you see someone kicking up the sand, another crew member or perhaps one of his assistants, kicking sand into his face to create the sandstorm. Now, this was broadcast on Romanian TV, so he looked a little bit silly.
Okay. Cautionary tale to all journalism students who may be watching this one. You can never twist the facts. Simple as that. What do you make of it then? Is he still working?
He's still working. The TV channel denied it. They said it's all the cameraman's fault. He was a bad cameraman. He was playing a joke on him. But I mean, it's pretty clear. The camera never lies. I think he was trying to fake the weather.
Thank you, Olivia. The camera never lies indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Stay with us. We have more to come here. News, sport, culture, the whole gamut. Stay with us here live from Paris.